Welcome, Erin, to our house. Erin Condon is the VP of Storefront and Omnichannel Marketing at CVS Health. Erin, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about beauty, and let's talk about Beauty Mark. In January of this year, you announced that 70% of the beauty imagery in the CVS pharmacy locations would be Beauty Mark compliant. What is it, and why is it so important today?
Great question, and thank you again for having me here. So the Beauty Mark is our commitment to transparency in beauty. So essentially, the marks that I'm wearing on my shirt is on all images that have not been digitally altered. So we've worked with our supplier partners over the last year to join this movement with us. And so all of the images in our store by the end of 2020 and in all of our collateral and assets will either have one of two marks. So you see that when something hasn't been digitally altered, the beauty unaltered message will be there. And when it has, the digitally altered message will be there. Why is this important, right? It's important because the consumer is demanding it. This wasn't a gimmick that CVS came up with. This was listening to our consumers at a point in time where she was saying that others weren't, right? So a year and a half ago, we embarked on a lot of research, and what we found was there was this white space, right? So consumers, particularly the younger millennial consumer, was giving us indicators based on her media consumption, based on how she was buying, right? So she was buying more from indie brands. She's engaging with influencers and authentic personalities. The top 10 beauty influencers have a reach of 135 million plus, right? So this is scale. And billions of views, 100 billion views a year on YouTube are happening with beauty content, right? So she's telling us that she's looking for information from in a more authentic way. And that, coupled with the fact that you saw in the video, the American Medical Association years ago in 2011 said that this is a health issue. And our purpose is to help people on the path to better health. So putting these things together, we listened to our customers, we listened to our gut, and we took a bold stand. And we're really excited that we did so because our consumers are applauding us for doing it.
And one of the things that you had mentioned was that the intent was to educate your customer, and that's why it's deliberately labeled as altered or not altered. What do you hope that badge will signal to your customers in terms of their life, their health, as they come into and walk the aisles of a CVS pharmacy location?
Yeah, so again, it's a commitment to transparency because our data shows that, especially with young girls when they're impressionable, 80 to 90% of young women feel that the images that they see in front of them are unrealistic and unattainable, and they don't know why. And now we are providing that transparency for them. And so we want them to feel more confident in themselves. We want to feel them to feel more confident in their choices and to trust us as a retailer and trust us as a healthcare company that is truly committed to helping them.
Now, there was a lot of different collaborators that you needed to get this kind of program at scale. CVS Health is the 7th largest company in the nation. It's the 2nd largest beauty retailer in the nation. It's not a small operation, and you had to get a lot of different partners on board. Were there some challenges, or was it relatively, I'm in? What did that look like?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that when we first started approaching our major supplier partners about this, I didn't have some sleepless nights. Yeah. Because this is changing an industry, right? This isn't just changing something at CVS, this is changing an industry. And we have been overwhelmingly pleasantly surprised with the support. And again, consumers were already changing around us, right? And as a retailer of our scale, 75% of Americans live within 5 miles of a CVS, right? We have millions of people coming in our doors every day. And so to have that, we almost have an obligation, right, to make change. And again, our supplier partners really came on board because the data and insights were there, that this is what consumers wanted. And you saw some celebrities there, but yeah, the likes of Kerry Washington, Aisha Curry, and all these wonderful people and supplier partners have been on board with us on this journey, and it's not easy, right? A lot of us are changing the way we have to shoot our photography, the way we do production is changing, but it's really important. And again, the consumer is telling us that she's rewarding us for doing so.
Well, Digitas loves this initiative so much. Digitas has also adopted all of our images moving forward will also be beauty mark compliant.
Amazing.
Please take that off immediately because I'm not sure if I'm liking my three-quarter profile shot there. The whole notion of providing an experience that is simple and seamless. With every moment, trust builds with the customer. I recently was on a business trip. I landed 6 a.m. in the morning. I check into the hotel, and these words just killed me. Have you stayed with us before? It's like, oh, I've been a member of this organization for multiple years. There is a power of knowing your customer and designing an experience around the customer. The CVS customer, and please correct me, women, average height is 5'4". They're known as like the chief medical officer, if you will, of the family. And even something as the detail of height can influence the experience inside of the aisle. Mm-hmm. How are you looking at the insights of a customer, the beautiful little details then directly influence even something as height in terms of how that experience is built around that individual?
Sure, yeah. So knowing your customer, knowing our customer is critically important to us, right? And we all know as marketers that what people say and what people do are not always the same. Yeah. And so, we use a number of different methodologies, right? From actual data, we know what they buy. We talk to them, we know what they want, what they say they want. And then more and more we've begun to prototype experiences to really understand how they're engaging with them and optimize them. So it's a combination of all of these things. But again, we are always rooted in who she is and what she is looking to accomplish and really helping her make confident choices. We know our customer is time-starved and she's looking to save a little bit of time and a little bit of money and take care of her family. And so everything that we do is rooted in that.
And I just loved when even something as height that CVS is starting to redesign the eye levels of the shelving based on this insight. Peter Drucker once said that management is about doing things right, but leadership is about doing the right things. And doing the right things is not always easy, and sometimes it costs. In 2014, when CVS announced that it will no longer be carrying tobacco-related products in its stores, it was estimated at that time that was a potential cost of $2 billion in annual sales. Not a small amount of money in the context perhaps of the bigger CVS organization, but it is meaningful. And arguably in that time, CVS took a bit of a hit on their share as well. I think it's something that each brand struggles with is when you think about the juxtaposition of profit and purpose. Sometimes we see it as a choice. And for CVS Health, you made this decision at that time. How would you counsel brands in thinking about profit and purpose? Does one have to trump the other?
I think the good thing for us as marketers is more and more they don't, right? And consumers are telling us that, right? So we know there's a plethora of data. I think it was referenced earlier in the program, that millennials and Gen Z particularly will put more of their dollar with brands that are purpose-led, but it has to be truly authentic. But it is risky, right? Even with the beauty mark, one of the things that we were anxious about was what if all the brands don't come along with us, right? And so we don't want to stop having brands that people want in our stores, and thankfully we didn't see that happen. And when our tobacco decision and others like that, removing parabens from our store brand beauty products, we're listening to the consumer that we want, and we recognize that there is a small sacrifice. There are some consumers that may no longer choose us, but the consumers that we're really trying to win with over the long term, those that are invested in their health and that we want to help and invested in our purpose with us are going to pay dividends over the long run. But it's hard.
Right.
If it were easy, more brands would be doing it every day.
And I think there's a lot of intention, but the path is not always the same or easy for all. I'll just close with this final quote. A company's most precious asset is its relationship with its customers. What matters most is not what you know, but how you are known to them. For CVS Health, what is your wish for what your customers want to be known, or what you want to be known for your customers? What would be that?
Yeah,
statement?
so we do want to be recognized as their partner in health and the trusted partner and place to go, not just when they're sick, but when they're well, a part of their daily life. So more and more consumers are taking little daily steps to be on their path to better health, and we want to be their partner there. And again, have full trust and confidence so there's one less worry in their day.
Fantastic. Thank you, Erin. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.